What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash, and today we're going to be talking about college advisors, specifically academic college advisors, and why they suck and how you can protect yourself against an advisor who probably don't know what they're doing, or who's just kind of like doing as they go, and they end up making you take an extra 20 years in college. Maybe not 20 years, but an extra year or 2 years. Before we get into that, I'm going to give you a little story time here. So I was about to graduate. I was 2 weeks away from graduation. I was already working full time, and this job was depending on me getting my degree. So it was a Monday morning. I got to work, and HR at my job reached out to me, and they asked when they could expect my degree. So I was like, you know what? I'm graduating in 2 weeks, and it takes about a month for the degree to be sent to me. So I would be able to get it to you maybe in 2 months or so. They were like, all right, that's fine. So I'm like, okay, let me check my grades to see if my exams are graded, if I got credits for all my classes. So I log into the website, the university website, and my degree progress says 99% complete. So I'm like, it should be 100% complete. So I scroll down and it says I was missing a core class. I believe this was an accounting class that I had to take as a finance major. But according to the report, it said I didn't take it. So I sit down and I start looking through my classes. I'm looking through my classes and I see that I have all the hours I needed. I took all the classes I had to take. So I called my advisor 30 times, 20 times. They never picked up. I was honestly about to cry because I was ready to graduate. And if I really was missing one class, that would have pushed me back another semester, and I would have lost my job because my job was dependent on me getting my degree that same semester. So I sent an email to my advisor. I sent a copy of my degree plan, all the classes that I took. I'm like, okay, it says I'm missing 3 hours here. And these are the classes I took, and it seems like I have enough hours. So they never responded to the email for an entire day. So I go home, I'm really depressed, so I just went to sleep. I kept waiting and waiting, but then I couldn't sleep. So I woke up, I started going back into my degree plan, seeing what class was I missing. Alright, so since I was a finance major, I had to take 3 different accounting classes. So I had accounting 1, accounting 2, and then I think the other one was advanced accounting, or maybe accounting 3. It was a third accounting class, which is more advanced, right? But I wasn't really interested in taking that class. So I talked to my advisor and they said I could take another class, which is called accounting for finance majors, right? Which is a lot easier and it's more relatable to finance. So I took that class. All right. So based on the information that I was looking at, they say that I had to take the accounting 3 class, but not the accounting for finance majors. That one did not count towards my degree. So I start freaking out. And then the next day, I wake up, I get an email from my advisor. They say, oh, you're good. We just changed the requirements. So that's what you're seeing right now, but you're good to go. So that's the end of the story. But you can imagine what I had to go through, like, you know, just the emotional stress that you get from feeling like you're not going to be able to graduate and having to wait for somebody to respond to you. All right. So that is my story, but I'm pretty sure you guys have even better stories, not better stories, but more horrifying stories of advisors not knowing what they were doing. I have friends that had to push back their graduation by a couple semesters simply because whenever they go to see their advisor, they would tell them that you didn't have to take these classes yet, you could take them later. And that when they were getting ready to graduate, it turns out they're missing maybe 3 classes, so they have to take another semester or 2 semesters. All right, so the question is, why does this happen? It's not just one school, it's all over the country, so you can ask literally anybody. So if you guys have any stories, put them in the description below. All right, so I was doing some research, which pretty much means I went on job websites and I looked up a college academic advisor. So I was looking at the job descriptions and the minimum requirements that they need to have that job. And most of the time you didn't need a degree, or you needed a background in education, or maybe a 4-year degree in any field, but then kind of like an interest in education, right? Because you're pretty much working in the education industry. But the interesting thing is that, so let's say an advisor has a physics degree, right? But they're interested in education, which means maybe teaching high school students, physics, but then they decide to become a college advisor. And they get assigned to finance students, right? And they don't really have a lot of knowledge and information about finance, so they have to do their own due diligence and do research to make sure that they are providing the best help. But I think the case is not all of them are going to go out of their way to do research in order to make sure that they're providing the best help. That's just how it is. And it's the same situation, maybe someone who has a finance background and then they get assigned students that are chemistry majors. All right, so when it comes to how we can fix this, you can look at the university side, right? They could try to hire advisors based on the degree that they have. So if there are finance students that need an advisor, they can hire somebody with a finance degree who is interested in education. But that doesn't always work because not everyone that has a finance degree wants to apply to be a college advisor, right? And not everyone that has an engineering degree wants to apply to be a college advisor. So to save time and resources and money and all that, they end up hiring anyone that has experience or a background in education, right? Or an education degree or any degree. So it's not going to correspond to the students that they are representing. All right. So we can also look at this from the advisor's perspective, right? We can ask the advisors to have a certification. For example, if you are a finance advisor, you'd have to get a certification to advise the finance students. Make sure that you have the knowledge that you need to tell them, take this class, don't take this class. And this certification can just be based on the college itself, or it could be a national exam. It could be something like college advisors that specialize in finance need to pass this exam and have the certification before they can get hired. All right, so if we're being honest, that is going to take years to happen, or it's never going to happen. All right, so the question is, what can you do right now to make sure that you help yourself and you don't really have to fully depend on an advisor that might not really have the knowledge that you need? So I have 3 different tips that I'm going to be giving you. So the first one is going to be switching your advisor. So I'm pretty sure if you meet your advisor and you don't really like how they do things, you should be able to go to the front office or whatever office you have and ask to switch to advisor. They'll be more than happy to accommodate you. So one tip when it comes to that is don't do it on the last minute, right? Because every advisor is assigned a group of students, and whenever you try to do a last minute, that advisor is trying to see their students, so they're not going to be able to take up on extra work. So I would recommend doing this in the beginning of the year. So when you just start school, you go see your advisor, you kind of like test them out and see if you guys can really click. And if that doesn't work, ask to switch the advisor when there's still time. All right, so let's say you switch your advisor and the other one doesn't really help. And now you're just stuck. You just don't want to spend the entire semester jumping from advisor to advisor, which brings me to the next tip, which is going to be ask your professors. So if you're doing finance and you're taking finance classes, you have finance professors, right? And they do have finance degrees, and most of them have industry experience as well because they're probably retired and they went back to teaching. So you can always ask them, like, these are the classes that I'm taking right now. What do you think I should add? These are the classes I plan on taking next semester. Do you think I should remove any classes or add any additional classes? So asking your professor is going to be one of the best things you could do because, they were in school. They were just like you, maybe 20, 30 years ago. And when it comes to asking your professors, one of the best things you could do is every professor almost has office hours, right? So go ahead and look at the professor's office hours and show up at the office, and then you can talk to him for like an hour. You can even work out your entire degree plan based on their knowledge. And if that professor doesn't help, there's maybe 20 more professors that are in the field that you want to get your degree in. So yeah, so you have a lot of options when it comes to professors. All right, so the next one is going to be asking your friends and classmates, right? So if you are in a finance class and you know everyone in that class has to be a finance major, you can just ask them, what classes are you taking this semester? What classes are you going to take next semester? Have you taken this class before? And most of the time you find out that maybe you're taking classes that you don't need to take, or maybe one of your classmates has a bad advisor and they're taking classes they shouldn't take, and you know that, so you tell them. So that is how you can get help and also help other classmates and your friends. So that is pretty much it. Now I want to show you how I actually did it when I went to college, because I knew that advisors weren't going to really help me. So what I did was use all the tips that I just went over, but this is how I did it. When you're getting ready to sign up for classes or create your degree plan, so I recommend creating let's say you want to graduate in 4 years, create your degree plan for 4 years so you can see the entire thing, right? All right, so one way to do this, I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys can really see this. So you can literally type in your university name and then your degree requirements. So for me, I typed in UTSA finance degree requirements. So as soon as you do that, it's going to take you to a page where you have the degree requirements. I think a lot of universities have this so that, incoming students know what classes to take, what to expect. So now looking on this page here, you're going to see that they are required classes that you have to take, and they kind of like give you a 4-year degree plan when it comes to this. Every school might not do this, but a lot of schools will show you a 4-year degree plan. Yeah, so this should give you a general idea. All right, so what you can do is you can use this as a template, and you can maybe switch around some classes. Maybe you want to take some classes early. So now once you have your 4-year degree plan, that is when you take it to your advisor, right? Instead of asking your advisor, what classes should I take? You have the classes that you want to take. You ask them, does this look good? I have these classes for this semester. Can you make sure that, I can take all these classes? So once your advisor approves your schedule, they say it looks good, you can go to your professor. One of the professors like, hey, professor, I'm taking these classes this semester. What do you think? Should I take off any classes? And then they'll probably say it's good. And after that, you can go to your friends and be like, hey, what class are you taking next semester? And you can kind of like compare schedules with your classmates. So that is how you can combine all those tips to help yourself and make sure that you don't get left behind and you can graduate on time. So that is pretty much it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any stories from your college advisors. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.